where land is scarce. Just look around. I'm Rosanna Scotto on the Penthouse at 60 Hotel in Soho, and we are warming up for summer. The private homes with private pools you have to see to believe. No sunscreen required.
Well, you feel like you've left New York and you're in Marrakesh.
Then, a step back in time.
He wanted this fine European building that commanded respect.
Inside one of the original police headquarters in the city. Once the home of cops, now the home to stars. From Cindy Crawford to Calvin Klein, even tennis great Steffi Graf have lived here. And now, supermodel, real housewife, and current real estate broker, Kelly Bensimon, is showing me her home.
How are you?
Thank you so much for
Welcome
this
to Soho.
First of all, I love this building, and I can't wait to see your apartment.
Thank you. This is Fluffy, so you have to say hi.
Hello, Fluffy.
Hello.
You're so cute.
We want you to see everything. Come on.
Okay. I love this foyer.
It's so great.
What did you do with the Hermes scarf?
Okay, so I have so many Hermes scarves. I have so many. No, but I have a lot of Hermes scarves, and so what I wanted to do is I made these massive pillows out of them so the girls and I can like eat popcorn and watch movies. But then for here, because it's this big massive wall, added color, and then with the white frame, it just disappears. So great.
I love the different heights of the ceilings.
Isn't it so great? Because you have to walk into the apartment. It's not just you're like, bam, I'm in someone's apartment. You actually have to come in, and it's a home. This isn't an apartment. This is my home.
So now this building is a co-op, right?
It is, yes.
How many bedrooms, how many baths?
This is 3 full bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms.
So tell me about the dining area.
So this is so great. This is an amazing parsonage table that I cut the legs off and took down. These chairs are from the 18th century. They're just so unbelievable. So the girls and I, we can have Chinese food and we actually sit at this table. I don't like the idea of a dining room being an area where like no one can go or it's only for special parties.
I was going to say, special occasion.
I just like the untraditional, unconventional way of living, and you know, there's just so many beautiful things in this home decor environment now. So I just want to celebrate it. My kids are having a blast.
And you know what else I love? I love how you have these like little shelves every which way. I mean, you've got books on the bottom, but your collection of Murano glasses is crazy.
Again, these are things that I love and that I've collected for so long, and that's really my sense of style, is about celebrating this amazing world that I've been able to live in. People in New York like to conceal everything. They don't want anyone to see it. I am so proud of every single glass I've ever bought, every lamp. I want everyone to see everything and to celebrate everything.
What about this gorgeous light fixture?
This light fixture is so amazing. First of all, you know, you can see that the ceilings are so high, and the great thing about this light fixture is it's like being in a photo studio, so the light is soft.
Oh, good move.
Hello, we gotta make it soft.
Of course she would know that.
I'm a supermodel. What do you think? I'm not gonna have bad light in my own apartment. Lighting is really key in an apartment.
It makes everybody look good and feel sexy, right? This is so beautiful.
Thank you.
And so curated.
I mean, look at this, is so cool that Calvin Klein drew this.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, you little brat. Here's a Kelly bag.
This is the first bag I ever bought, and I used to take it to Columbia, and it is 9,000 years old, and it is the chicest bag on the planet.
It's so cool. I mean, you still wear it, right?
All the
Even though
time.
it's 9,000 years old. Because
It's not 9,000. I bought this when I was at Columbia, and I have worn it ever since.
You know what?
That's how I roll.
It tells story. You know, it
Well,
has
when you're modeling and you start making money at a young age, that was the thing I learned very quickly, is like, buy things that I love because I'm going to have them forever. And I've had I mean, I've taken all my, you know, books in there, baby bottles, bagels. This has been everywhere.
Your closet, so neat, so organized. I love that you have like T-shirts, sweaters, T-shirts, yoga.
Yoga. Everything has to be organized because I have so many things that I love so much, and people have given me so many beautiful clothes. But you know what? Now I'm just really into this like more simple look of the bodysuit. Like it's just like.
If anybody could pull it off, it's
I'm
you,
gonna
Kelly.
be 50.
Stop it.
I'm gonna be 50, so I gotta like show it off while I can.
Well, you got it, girl. Flaunt it. So now you're starting a whole new chapter in the Kelly Bensimon life.
I am.
Real estate?
I literally decided I was going to get my real estate license because a friend of mine was like, you know what, why do you get a real estate license? You love New York so much. And I do love New York. And everyone's always asked me, where should I live? You know, what's a good apartment? What's a good neighborhood? You know, I like the way you live. Can I live like you? And so, you know, I was like, you know what, why don't I just get my real estate license and help all these people that I love so much have the homes that they love.
And get paid at the same time, lady.
And get
Come on.
paid.
So what's with the horse?
So the horse came from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It was in the Anglomania exhibit. It's made out of resin. It's a draft horse.
That is so cool.
So it's very, very light. You can actually pick it up and take it anywhere, but it's also very durable. It's the coolest thing ever.
Can you get on it?
Sure.
Durable?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah, let me get up. And this is the amazing Fendi saddle that was made for the military. So I have this like really cool saddle.
Right off into the sunset, Kelly.
Bye, Rose!
Bye, Kelly. Get off your high horse, Kelly. The secret's hiding inside your historic apartment building.
Those nooks and crannies were well used in those days, especially on the midnight shift.
The old police headquarters of New York, now and then, and later. It's the ultimate status symbol for the rich and famous.
You don't have to leave your home in the city. Not if you've got the money.
Just in time for summer. A lap around New York City's most exclusive private pools. Welcome back. We just took you inside Kelly Bensimon's apartment. Her building is iconic. In 1909, it used to house the New York City Police Department. These days, you could say it's arrested development.
Teddy Roosevelt, who later became president, was police commissioner of New York, and he envisioned the majesty of the law being instilled down in lawless immigrant town, you know, down in Chinatown. He wanted this fine European building that commanded respect and that reined in the lawlessness of New York. This area was an area full of immigrants. There were a lot of tenements here. They had begun building the courthouses further down Center Street that are still there today. The plans for a large municipal police headquarters to sort of instill the rule of the law in this neighborhood was very important. They began construction in 1905 and finished in 1909. The building fundamentally is made of brick, but it's covered in limestone and has a granite base, which is very classic for those types of buildings at that time. The dome was always part of the original plans for this building. The reason for it was as a viewing platform. There were steps that went up, all the doors open, and they had binoculars, and they would look out for untoward activity taking place in the neighborhood. Sounds so primitive. We can't imagine that the police visually found things going on, but that is what happened. It's one of the biggest slopes in all of Manhattan, and so the building is on an angle that's very unusual for New York. You can see how it tapers down. The lot is an unusual size, and that's because of the way the streets were reconfigured and the way lots were divided up in Manhattan at the time. So we end up in this funny trapezoidal shape. It was considered a very innovative building technologically in the very beginning in the 1910s. They had a radio room that is a smaller dome on the north end that communicated with ships out in the harbor that relayed messages all over the world. So that was quite advanced technology and continued to be advanced technology through the Second World War. During the 1920s, during Prohibition, and during the 30s, when you had a lot of Italian-related crime activity, and this being very close to Little Italy, this was a busy place. What is now the gym was actually an entrance for cars, and this is where the criminals would be brought through. And the building was very well designed to allow criminals to be brought downstairs, that they wouldn't have to go through public corridors. There was a courtroom here, there were jail cells in the basement, there was all kinds of holding rooms for lost orphans and things we can't relate to today. In the 70s, the police force had outgrown this building from a technology perspective, but also just the size of the force. They built themselves a brand new building all the way to the bottom of Centre Street, much closer to the courts. And this building actually was abandoned in the 1970s. It went up for auction in the 1980s, and the developer, he was the only person who showed up to the auction. And I believe he bought the building for a few $100,000.
I'm with Commissioner Stephen Davis with the police department here in New York City, and he actually worked in that building. What was it like for you?
Well, I worked there in 1970 and 1971. I was a police trainee at the time. My first night getting there, I didn't think I was in the right place. I walked in, this was something like out of a movie set, and you walked up these big stairs, and they brought us up to the third floor. I was a radio dispatcher at the time in the original 911 center. It wasn't set, obviously, for that type of operation. The rooms were spacious. And
ceilings were grand.
Were high up, and the floors were beautiful. There were columns around, and there were nooks and crannies all over the place, which at that time...
If the walls could talk,
yeah, if the walls could talk, those nooks and crannies were well used in those days, especially on the midnight shift. We used to sneak at night near the commissioner's office, which was pretty well guarded, and we didn't want to get caught there. But we made our way all the way to the very top. We snuck up there, and...
what's up there?
I can't tell. I'm not allowed. Hey,
times change.
Times change a lot. You gotta
go with the flow.
Where do you see lions anymore, except in the 42nd Street Library and
Look
police?
At this.
Police
Lions! That's pretty cool. Look at these steps. I bet you these lampposts, right? I mean, these are the original lamps and everything. These doors are like real iron.
Yeah, I mean,
no fooling around doors. Why do you get emotional when you look at this building?
You know, to think, almost 50 years ago, I was there. I was there on a pretty regular basis, and you know, I probably didn't appreciate it at the time. Spent a little time in there, which is probably one of the few people left can say that.
I think there are many beautiful buildings in Manhattan. We're not Paris, but we have a number of municipal buildings that really stand out, the Public Library or the Met. But I think what's very unique about this building is just how veiled it was in the community, how so many people have stories that are woven in and out of here, whether they're on the wrong side of the law or the right side of the law.
Coming up, take a dive into New York City's private pools.
Does it come with a lifeguard? Because if it doesn't, I'm not interested.
Well, since it's in the West Village, you probably could find a really good-looking one. I know that Hugh Jackman lives down the street.
Indoor or outdoor, large or small, it's the best money can buy. Then, sealing a deal with diamonds.
The buyer offered half cash and half jewels.
A real gem in this edition of Real Estate Confidential.
Summertime in the city, a lot of people head to the beach to go swimming, but not if you have the bucks. Here with the secret information is the president of Douglas Elliman, Scott Durkin. You don't have to leave your home in the city.
Not if you've got the money.
People actually have swimming pools in their house.
They sure do.
In New York City?
Quite big ones and quite big homes. The first one is 232 West 15th Street. It's a magnificent triplex in a brownstone. So you have the wonder of a brownstone, but you don't have to take care of the whole building. In the basement, you've got this luxurious tropical paradise. This pool is 30 feet long, 8 feet deep, and it is a saltwater pool.
I hear there's some other pools in Tribeca.
11 Northmore, which is a beautiful condominium building with full services, doorman, concierge. Wonderful amenities. However, this triplex has its own private pool on the top of the building.
So it's not for everybody who lives in that building?
No, it's yours. So whenever you feel like it, you can even take the elevator up, and it opens up to the pool and to the barbecue area, and there's a kitchen and 2 private terraces that abut that. It's magnificent. That's for $22 million.
Another pool not too far away on Northmore.
This pool's a knockout. It's at 2 Northmore. It's an entire building. It's 11,000 square feet. You've got 3-car garage. On top, you've got an indoor 50-foot pool. You've got your own gym, multiple bedrooms. You could entertain on every single floor. It's a magnificent house.
When you think about apartments in the city and opulence, you think about square footage. How big is their bedroom? How big is their living room? You never think about, does it come with a swimming pool? How much is this particular property?
This is $34 million. Our next property is a magnificent penthouse at 166 Perry. This overlooks the Hudson River, and it's a duplex. It's up the entire roof of the building. You've got a private gym, a private office, 2 bedrooms, a barbecue area, and a magnificent pool. You are not too high as well. This building is only 6 or 7 stories in total. So you're just floating over the West Village and the Hudson River.
Does it come with a lifeguard? Because if it doesn't, I'm not interested.
Well, since it's in the West Village, you probably could find a really good looking one. I know that Hugh Jackman lives down the street.
Okay, maybe he's available. How much for this particular residence?
$30 million.
$30 million. All right, let's go uptown, shall we?
118 East 76th Street has a 36-foot pool on the top floor. It is enclosed with beautiful tile mosaics and a skylight that just it floods the entire room with light. It's absolutely magnificent. You can have a huge party up there, and no one needs to swim, but you can just be around it, and it's really beautiful. You feel like you've left New York and you're in Marrakesh.
You know, it used to be square footage was the new status symbol, or pools the new status symbol.
I think for a certain buyer, they are. If they're on their 2nd, 3rd, or 4th home, I think the pool is the icing on the cake.
Next, confidential confessions.
I walked right in the front door, and there was a guy sitting there smoking a cigarette, completely naked.
The buyer offered half cash and half jewels.
I opened the door and I was absolutely flabbergasted. You would not believe what I saw.
Nothing surprises these brokers anymore. Some secrets are never meant to be kept. In this edition of Real Estate Confidential, the naked truth.
I'm Nicole Gary with Keller Williams Tribeca. The first listing that I ever had, I went to go host an open house on a Sunday, and I got there a half an hour early. However, the tenant was supposed to be out of the country. So I figured, okay, no one's going to be here. I walked right in the front door, and there was a guy sitting there smoking a cigarette, completely naked behind the desk, a girl in bed completely naked, lingerie scattered all over the apartment, absolute disaster, dirty dishes in the sink. So I said, who are you? And they said, oh, I'm the cousin of the tenant. I guess I forgot to tell you I'm staying here. So I said, I don't care who you are, but you need to get out of this apartment because I need it to be clean and ready for people to walk in a half an hour. So they got on their clothes, they left the apartment. I opened the windows, I cleaned the dishes, I put cinnamon on the stove, I boiled it to get the smell out, and somehow got that apartment ready in a half an hour for people to walk through and host my open house.
I'm Michael Simon Papadakos of Mirador Realty. We had a brownstone listed in Park Slope, Brooklyn. The buyer offered half cash and half jewels, approximately $1.3 to $1.5 million worth of diamonds, and it was about 200 carats. This was all what the buyer stated. My job is to present all offers, which I did. The seller, although intrigued, was concerned about the legality and really how serious this offer was. When I asked the buyer to convert the diamonds to cash or considered that, he stated that they were a family heirloom and they were not for sale, but apparently they were allowable to be traded for real estate. At the end of the day, the buyer, or the seller rather, went with a different offer that was all cash. So at the end of the day, diamonds are not a realtor's best friend.
I'm Loretta Brickili with City Habitats, and you would not believe what happened to me a few years ago. I was showing some apartments to 2 international students in the East Village. I opened the door and I was absolutely flabbergasted. You would not believe what I saw. The whole apartment, and I'm saying every surface was covered in graffiti. The walls, the ceilings, the kitchen, even the refrigerator was covered in paint. And they actually decided that they loved it. They took it right there and then, and I learned a lesson. I decided never to judge people's taste.
Doesn't matter what your taste is, as the saying goes, there's a lid for every pot. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, I'm Rosanna Scotto.